Welcome to today's edition of Mental Health Matters. Today we have Lisa from Hope Cooperative on the show with us today, formerly known as TLCS. Lisa is going to talk about the services that Hope Cooperative provides to the community in Sacramento. Stay tuned. We have a great show ahead of you guys today. Lisa.
Yes, hello.
Thank you so much for being a guest on our show.
Thank you.
I like to start off by thanking guests. I know people are busy, and I know you kind of told me a little bit about what you do in your schedule, so thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This is very exciting.
Yes. So why don't we start off by you just kind of tell a little bit about yourself and give a little bit of info about your background.
Okay, well, I've been working in the mental health system since I was in my, I think I started my internship when I was 21 at TLCS, the Hope Cooperative.
Wow, nice.
So, and then from there I ended up becoming employed through TLCS, Hope Cooperative, and I've kind of moved around a lot within the agency. So I've been there for about 30 years.
30
years.
years.
All told, yes. And so, and I even left for 1 year. I actually had a heart attack, and so I left, decided I'd take a little break and take care of my health, and ended up going straight back. So yeah, so it's been fun. And I've done everything from case management to payee services to just getting people in the front door, and now I'm managing the clubhouse.
Nice. Lisa, when you first told me that you've been there for 30 years, the first thing came to my mind is here is someone that is passionate about the mental health field.
Yeah.
Very passionate, because I'm passionate too, but I haven't had that many years under my belt, or I don't have that many years under my belt, but that's very impressive to me.
Oh, thank you.
Kudos to you.
Thank you.
So what made you kind of like want to stick in this particular field, so to speak?
I honestly, I love my clients, my members, my residents, depending on where I'm at. I love working with folks, and especially folks that are challenged with mental illness. I think the resilience of the people and the amazing ways that they find to work through what they're going, especially just because it's not like any other illness. You don't wear it necessarily.
That's exactly right.
And it just, I love, again, I just love how people can push through and thrive and be amazing and be their best version of themselves.
Yes.
And it's always been inspirational to me to work with folks.
Yes, I like how you said that you don't necessarily wear it, because any one of us can kind of deal with a form of depression or anxiety, and that's everyday life for all of us in some way, form, shape, or fashion, depending on what situation we're dealing with. So
yeah, it's like a spectrum. There's mental wellness and mental illness, and we're all floating somewhere in there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's just some folks are floating more on this end, and I think that's where I find it so impressive that you're able to still work past that, because I know on some of my bad days, I don't know that I'd be as resilient if I had to deal with that day in and day out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So, I know Hope Cooperative was formerly known as TLCS. Why did they change their name?
Okay, so Hope Cooperative, the agency felt, our CEO felt that the name Hope really was what we're about.
Nice.
It really embodies our whole everything. We're TLCS did at one time, but we really have expanded and grown, and we've become so much, we're just huge now, and we're doing so much, and just the idea of hope and resiliency and being there to motivate our clients and our members and our residents, and just being there and always promoting them to be the best version of themselves, to move forward, to do everything that they can in their life to have a happy and fulfilled life.
Nice. And so how do you guys, well, I'll ask you this first. So what type of services do you guys actually provide there for the community?
Oh my goodness. Okay. So
A lot.
A lot. Yeah. So we have everything. We have everything from full service partnership, which is, kind of the boutique mental health facility where it still has the psychiatrists and the case managers and everybody, but they carry a caseload of folks that are very high users of the mental health system.
Yeah.
And they have very stringent requirements about how often they need to be helping and being with these folks and making sure things are going well. Then we also have the RST, which we just absorbed, which is HRC.
Yeah.
And then we have T-Core, which is kind of so. You've got HRC, T-Core, and then the FSP, which is New Direction if you need it. So as far as level of care goes.
Okay, wow.
And then we also have our Navigator program, which are folks out there in this weather right now, walking around in the parks, trying to help people and connect with people. They are amazing. I give so many kudos to the Navigators because not me.
So do they cater more toward the homeless population or just?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, still looking for, you still have to have a mental health diagnosis to access almost all of our services. We have a new program called Possibilities, which is for transitional age youth.
Okay.
And they have you do not have to have a mental health diagnosis.
Okay.
And they focus a lot on employment and getting these kids more independent.
Wow.
And out of the system. We also have co-ops, and we have Cordosa Village, which is for families.
Yes.
Yeah. We're building Sunrise, which is another apartment complex. Sunrise Village, I think it's called. And then we also have Folsom Oaks, which is another beautiful place. We have Palmer.
Bell Street Apartments.
Which is part of our co-ops. Palmer, which is kind of our version of a short-term program, transitional program to get you a shelter-ish, but with a lot of services and a lot of groups. And then the clubhouse.
Nice. So how are all these programs funded?
1,000 different ways. We're still considered private nonprofit, but we do get MHSA funding. We do get we do Medi-Cal billing. We do HMIS. Just a variety of different funding pots. Okay. Which is why a lot of the jobs can be so challenging because you have to make sure you're meeting everybody's whatever
requirements.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. When I was doing my research, I honestly, and once again, it's funny because I hear of these particular agencies and these particular programs that's out here in the community. Yeah. And I think for me, I have limited information as to what you guys actually do. Right. So when I start to get to interview you guys or normally interview somebody from different agencies, of course I have to go in and do a lot of thorough research. Right. And in this particular agency, Hope Cooperative, I was very, very, very surprised that you guys did all the stuff that you did and the breakdown of different housing, establishments. And I'm thinking wow, how do they have time to do all? I mean, it's a lot of stuff. It's
a lot, and I'm missing some. I mean, there are. I was just looking at the crisis respite. There's so much. And our CEO, Erin, is amazing. Wow. She's just a ball of energy. And engages everyone in the community and just keeps us moving forward and growing. So.
That's awesome. Yeah. So if someone was interested in you guys, some of the services that you just announced, how do they get involved? Is the services free or?
Everything's free, and they go through the access team, the county access team, and then they kind of figure out from there. And it could be anywhere. You might start out at HRC, you might start out at New Direction, you might, it just kind of depends on your level of service need. Okay. And then from there, that's when we start working on all the other stuff. We kind of take it from the base, and then we do everything from, let's just get you clothed and fed for today and in a warm place. And then, let's get a voucher. Let's get you housed. Let's get you furniture. Let's start looking at what's going to make you happy. Let's look at employment.
That's awesome.
Then we go to doctors. We go to, everything.
Yeah.
Everything. We provide everything, at least that we can think of at this moment,
Yeah.
to help you get back on your feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you guys provide services to all age groups, or certain programs is tailored to certain age
We only have
groups?
one TAY program. Everything else is adult.
Okay,
So,
which is still good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Still good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but as a case manager, when I was doing that, or a personal services coordinator, if there was a family, I had a mom or a dad on my particular caseload and then they had kids,
Yeah.
we did everything with the kids too. I mean, like from helping them get enrolled in school and making sure that they had clothes and
Yeah.
all that kind of good stuff. So we work with the whole family,
Wow.
yeah.
Do you guys take donations as far as funding and clothing?
Yes, clothing is a little harder just because we have to be very careful about where it's coming from.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, we do, and that would be. I think each program's kind of individual.
Okay.
So I know that everybody has like different people that donate to them, but it's different sources.
Okay.
All over, but yeah.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the clubhouse.
Okay. My favorite.
So I know. So so what is your role at the clubhouse?
I am the program manager at the clubhouse.
Okay.
Yeah. So the clubhouse is amazing. I could get choked up talking about it. I have been doing this, as I said, for 30 years, and I facilitated groups and did all that kind of stuff when I was a PSC. I don't know what it is about the clubhouse, but people love coming there. They will get on a bus as soon as they can and travel 2 hours every day to come over to the clubhouse, and they will stay and be involved and stay active. And people that there's one guy who's now one of my peer mentors, and he told me he was being hospitalized like every month, and this went on for years.
Yeah.
And then he came to the clubhouse and it stopped.
Yeah.
And now he's become a peer mentor, and he does a phenomenal job, and he is so dedicated. But these are stories that I hear every day.
Yeah.
I mean, it blows my mind. So it started out as an enrichment center. We follow some of the international clubhouse ways, such as the work order day and all that. Essentially, I always describe it as so many people know that when you are struggling with a mental illness, you often isolate and you stay to yourself, because people can be really rude when you're not behaving exactly like they think you should.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly right.
Yeah, it's terrible. And so we're a place of total acceptance, meet you where you're at. We embrace everybody that comes in. We make an effort to get to know you by, we try to remember everybody's name. We try and stay on top of it, introduce ourselves, always greet everybody warmly. We make sure everybody has a warm breakfast in the morning and a hot lunch in the afternoon.
Wow.
And it feels like you're kind of coming home for a little while.
Yeah.
I just think it's a really inviting environment. And so we get people that have been isolating for a long time that want to come and get out of it. And once they've been there once or twice, they're kind of hooked at that point. And so we're seeing them more often, and they're not staying at home. And then the hope is that you're going to see this more as your place, because we are completely member run.
That's awesome.
So we get everybody involved. We have a meeting every morning where we discuss the work order day and who's going to do what to keep it operating.
Yeah.
And that's anything from keeping things clean and serving lunch and checking on people outside, just checking in with each other, keeping everybody engaged.
Yeah.
And then that gives everybody everybody has a need to be needed.
Yes.
And it really empowers people.
Yeah.
Touched it. Sorry.
Yes. Yes.
Really, really empowers people.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see.
Yeah.
And then from there, we get folks that, okay, so can I volunteer? And it's like, absolutely, just come to the morning meeting and start taking on more of a role.
Okay.
And then I approach them, or they approach me, that they want to be a peer mentor.
Okay.
Which currently is not a stipend position, but that is certainly something we are hoping to do in the very near future.
Okay.
And then they move into the peer mentor role, and that's a little more. It's basically like being an employee of Hope Cooperative. They go through all the same stuff that all the employees do.
Okay.
All the training. They go to Wise U.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, they do all of that stuff. And it's not an easy job. And they are doing this with no financial, incentive exactly at all. And they're showing up for their scheduled hours. They're putting the I love the peer mentors. They are just amazing people, and they just want to give back.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't mind a stipend, but
Yeah.
it's mostly about just back. It's like
Yeah.
you guys have given us so much, and we want to do something for everybody else.
Yeah.
And they're fantastic. And then we also have a huge employment component to our clubhouse too. So the hope is that from peer mentor, maybe you're going to go get a job as a peer mentor
Yes.
somewhere, or maybe there's something else that you want to do. So we have this giant employment program that consists of a job developer, Daniel Bejarano, and he goes out into the community and meets with different folks in the community. And I have a few numbers here. We now have 26 employers that we're working with.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's an amazing tax incentive for employers that hire someone with a disability.
Yeah.
And so that is also a benefit.
Yeah.
And it's pretty amazing. Like right now I'm working with a company that hired one of our folks, and that person is struggling right now in the position. But I've been in touch with their HR, and we're
Yeah.
able to talk back and forth and
That's
actually
good.
have our job developer or our job coach go out and work with this person and to see like, okay, so I see what the problem is
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Let's talk about it. Let's,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's fantastic that these companies are willing to, and these are great companies. They're
Yeah.
not small companies by any means.
Yeah.
Are willing to let us do that. Come out and keep doing everything we can to keep this person employed and going.
Yeah.
And it's just so beneficial. I mean, really, truly, our lives are made up. Such a large part of our lives are the work that we do, whether it be volunteer or paid. And that also is where we make social connections and where we get so much of our self-worth and self-esteem. And everybody needs that.
Yes.
In one form or another. I mean, honestly, even if it's like I come once a week and I volunteer for an hour.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
You know what? You're giving it everything you can.
Yes.
And that's all. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the story about the guy you talked about that was being, I think, hospitalized every day.
Yeah.
And it's interesting when I hear stuff like that. For me, I interpret that he is in a safe space where he can be himself, where he can receive services, and at the same time give back. Because if you really think about it, I feel like this. I would feel more comfortable if I had a mental diagnosis. I would feel more comfortable for me around my peers.
Yes. Yeah.
Because these are people who understand me, know what I'm going through, know there may be highs and lows. They know what it takes. They know the struggle. They know. So I don't have to. It's just I could just lay it out all on the table. And you mentioned earlier how like some people that may have mental diagnosis, sometimes they stay in the shadows.
Yeah.
Because the world can be cruel if they do not understand, if they're not educated. So, and I like the fact that the clubhouse is existing for people can thrive and be who they are.
Me too.
That's
so,
important.
and it's so true.
Yeah.
And we hear that all the time. It's just like, but this is where I need to be. These are my people. This is good because, and even their families don't understand so often.
That's it.
And they're going home to kind of a hostile environment.
Yeah.
And so it's like, phew, I'm just glad to be around somebody that can appreciate that I actually am capable of doing something.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why we're going to do another show, you and I. And we kind of talked about that before. We're going to do another show. We're going to deal with that. Because it is important that family members, for people that is the person's circle of support, it's important that they understand the whole person, the physical, the mental, everything about this individual. Understand why they may be going through some of the things they'll be going through, why this particular place, the clubhouse, is important to them. May not be important to you, but it's important to them,
Yep.
And so it's important. It's very important. So kudos to what you're doing there.
Thank you. Linda Bratcher developed the program, and she's still hands-on with it. She's my supervisor, so she's still there occasionally, which is very nice. And she just, this is her baby.
Yeah. So how long has it been in existence?
I believe 4 years.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, about 4 years.
Yeah.
And I think someone said earlier that it used to only be open like 3 days a week or something like that, and it's kind of grown.
Yeah, because I actually came to the open house.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I came to the open house. Yeah, I remember coming to the open house,
Yeah.
and they had some of the back then TLCS staff there. And they also had some of the participants. What do you guys call them?
Members.
Okay, they had some of the
Yeah.
members there.
Yeah.
So it was really good, and I think the people at Wilmore, we really said a lot of positive things afterwards.
Yeah.
Because it was new. I mean, they had like hors d'oeuvres, and they just pretty much let us know like this is what we're doing. This is something new, and this is something that we hope to grow.
Right.
And it obviously expanded from back then.
It has, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a bit more about the volunteers. So if someone was interested in volunteers, if they was someone with a mental diagnosis,
Yeah.
they just come. What's the process?
So we kind of have tiers, if you will.
Okay.
So the people that can come to the clubhouse, the members that can attend, have to be a Hope Cooperative client.
Okay,
So we're
perfect.
not like Wellness and Recovery, which is open to everyone in the community.
Okay.
That is not us.
Okay.
So you have to be involved in one, and we have so many programs. So
Okay.
it's a pretty wide open.
Yeah.
So you have to be involved in that, and then if you would like to become a peer mentor or a peer assistant,
Okay.
because we have peer assistants as well, and they don't go through the rigorous screening that a peer mentor does.
Okay.
If you are currently attending the clubhouse and you've gotten to, and we want you to get to know the program a bit before you go for either of those positions, then you can move into those positions. We do have community volunteers.
Okay.
And you can have a mental illness or not have a mental illness.
Okay.
You can, whatever.
Okay, that's specifically for the clubhouse.
Exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
perfect.
And so then, we do an interview process.
Okay.
And then from there, we do the background check and the live scan, and we do some trainings and go through quite a bit of stuff. But then you can be a community volunteer. That is less rigorous than becoming a peer mentor.
Okay, so I want to expound so that
Yeah.
the people who are watching the program, just in case they
Sure.
want to volunteer,
Yeah.
they can know what particular position they will best fit in. Okay. So the community volunteer, what do they actually do, and what do they have to go through in order to?
So they would still go through the live scan. They would still go
Okay.
through the interview process and some of the training. They would not have to go to WiseU or
Okay.
any of that kind of stuff. And the positions that we like to see our community, one, just being there and being present, listening to our members, being available for them. We have one gentleman that comes every Wednesday, and
Nice.
he sits and he visits with everyone. They all know him really well now. So
Nice.
it gives people a chance to engage and encourages that social interaction.
Yeah.
We have another gentleman that is a volunteer, and he comes specifically when we do our employment program.
Okay.
And if we have things for him to do during that, he
Yeah.
participates in that. If not, he just goes out and meets with people and does the same thing, engages them.
Nice.
I would love to see volunteers coming in and saying, I would love to do this group or this class or
Okay.
this unit. That,
So-
I have this particular skill.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
And can I come and do this for an hour?
Okay, that's good
We're
to know.
always looking for people to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what type of group do you guys provide?
So we have a lot of different stuff going on. So it's kind of interesting because the clubhouse has its groups, but
Okay.
then T-Corps has its groups and HRC has its groups.
Okay,
But now
nice.
because we're all under the Hope Cooperative umbrella, everybody can go to everybody's groups.
Oh, nice.
So
That's
there's a
good.
lot of groups going on. In the clubhouse, employment is our big one.
Okay.
And we're focused on employment even throughout the day. So if someone comes in and they say they're interested in getting a job, we immediately sit down, talk with them, see what they might be interested in, get them on the computer if we are able to. We actually have some of our members
Yeah.
that are really computer savvy. So we get them on the computer with the other members. We try and
Nice.
encourage everybody to help one another.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, because God knows I'm no help on the computer.
I'm all right. I'm not an expert, believe me.
I know every time a young person comes in, I'm all, oh, you.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything technology, cell phones and computers, you could always count on them for sure.
Absolutely. We have a Jesuit volunteer that works with us. They are amazing.
Yeah.
And she's in her 20s. And so every time someone comes up with a phone problem, I'm like, go see Maggie.
Yeah. Yeah.
She can figure this out.
Yeah. My cousin, he work in IT. I mean, anything computers, cell phones, I mean, he just the techie. And a lot of times if I'm having issues with my laptop or anything, or my iPad, I kind of like, hey man, can you help me with this? And he always try to sit down and explain it to me. I'm like, look, I don't want to know this. Just fix it.
Right,
This is your area.
Yes.
I could do your resume. I could do other things, but just take it and do whatever you do and give it back. Don't try to explain to me. Don't try to. And he always get frustrated at me because of that.
You're not learning.
Yeah, that's exactly. I
Yeah.
don't want to learn it.
I know,
I just fix it and give it back.
And
you
that
know?
is so much of our obviously, duh.
Yeah.
They're people. Hello,
Yeah.
they get very frustrated with the computers and everything.
Yeah.
And so often it'll be the same thing. You know that they just want you to do it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And you know I'm not going to help.
Yeah.
So, luckily, we have other members that is their skill set.
Yes.
It is amazing the skill sets that you find in there. I honestly, we have a member that is very symptomatic and has a lot of internal stimuli and responds to that internal stimuli very loudly.
Yeah.
Amazing typist.
Wow.
Like amazing.
Yeah.
And so anytime we're going to do our newspaper, anything like that, we just hand it over and say, here, would you mind?
That's
and
awesome.
Rips it off. I mean, everybody, if you watch, everybody has a skill.
That's awesome.
Not awesome, a skill that I don't have, which
Yeah.
is nice.
But that's what makes
we are
a
such
good
a
team.
community there.
Yeah.
And we're all just like it. We are all important to keeping this place running.
Yeah, it's like a body.
It is.
It's like your hands has one function, your feet have another function, your ears have one.
That's a really good analogy. It's true.
And it works.
Yeah.
You know. So I always say that's the strongest team to have is somebody to have a different skill set.
Yep.
You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful place.
Yes. So do you guys give out any resources there?
Kind of, sort of. Obviously, we do breakfast and we do lunch every day.
Okay.
So we usually have like breakfast sandwiches and all that kind of good stuff, and then we make a great lunch every day.
Nice.
We hit the food locker. We get donations from the Harvest Program, from Seasons 52, from Chipotle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we don't just have any kind of lunch. We'll have like fettuccine Alfredo with garlic bread and a salad, or we have lobster ravioli a couple of weeks ago.
Wow. Yeah.
And then we always have a goodie for everybody. So we make sure that everyone's fed, and if you are undomiciled, we make sure that you are walking away with food.
Yeah.
So you'll have something to eat that night. As far as helping, we will help people get on the computer to look things up, but we really like to ask people to go back to their personal service coordinator because their role is so different than our role. And I don't think we need to be stepping on anyone's toes unless they've asked us to.
Yeah.
Because they may have a whole plan worked out with this person and I know nothing about it.
Yeah.
So for the most part, for that kind of stuff, we refer back.
Awesome.
But we're in a different position than a lot of clubhouses or wellness and recovery. We have all of those folks right there.
Yeah.
So it's not like they have to wait forever to see them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So all this is you guys are doing a lot there. Just the clubhouse alone.
Yeah.
So what is the hours of operations there?
9 to 3, Monday through Friday. But we get a lot done, and it's 700 square feet.
Yeah.
It is a tiny little place,
Yeah.
as you know.
Yeah.
And so luckily we're getting a portable classroom that they're
Okay.
going to put on the site. So that'll be fantastic.
Perfect.
Because right now that can be a little hard and now we're getting up to, I think it started out with just a few people kind of intermittently coming in for lunch, and now we're at almost 50 sometimes coming in for
A
lunch.
day?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that place gets busy. And it's so weird because we have like 8 chairs around a table and like 3 comfortable chairs, but somehow everybody finds a place to be.
Yeah.
Sometimes at my desk.
Yeah.
I'm like, could you move?
But I like that because it's like having a family.
It really is. That's what I think. I used to do a nutrition class, and I said it was the greatest thing about it was everybody kept coming, and we'd make food, and then we'd just start talking about everything going on in our lives, because it was the family dinner table, that old school family dinner table, and that's what I feel like the clubhouse is for people. I mean, I feel like it's homey, it's cozy, it's where they want to be, and I mean, they come to watch movies on Friday. We watch movies on Friday. We have popcorn together. We play games together. We knit. We sew. We do groups. We do it all.
Yeah. So do you guys have like a set schedule per day, or do you just kind of?
No, we do. We have a calendar that we put out every month, and every day we have 2 or 3 things going on, either gaming or, and then in between all of that, all the fun activities, the things just to get people socially engaged.
Okay.
We have all the more the groups, the journaling and the
That's good.
motivational interview, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Do you guys or have you ever did rap with them or?
We do have, actually. I just got a new peer mentor that is rap certified.
Okay.
And so she's going to be working on that, but I believe they do the rap group at both HRC and T-Core.
Okay.
So I think they have 2 options.
2 facilitators. Okay.
And then we'll have it with us. Then we'll have it at the clubhouse as well.
Okay. Nice.
Although most people are comfortable going wherever. I mean, we're all just one big campus. It's T-Core, HRC, and the clubhouse. We're all on the same campus.
See, okay, and I don't know why this is hard for me to grasp. So kind of explain to me, because at first I thought T-Core, so T-Core is a program, right? Okay. At first, I thought T-Core was an agency, a separate agency.
Because they got that big sign. It gets kind of confusing.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
It's not like when you go to Bell Street, it says Bell Street in huge letters.
Right, and that's why. Why. And I know at one point, so do they have their own separate location?
Yeah, so Marconi is the T-Core building. Right. And then Clubhouse is on the back side of that.
Correct.
And HRC is next to that.
Okay.
But you only see the T-Core sign,
that's
which
exactly
is really
right.
weird, but whatever.
We used to have our meetings there. The contract association meetings there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I used to go there when I was, I used to go there at one point in time. So
they have the bigger rooms.
Yeah, and that kind of confused me, and I always thought, okay, I thought back then, and you just actually cleared it up for me, that it was I thought it was a separate agency, but it's a separate program.
Separate program within the agency.
Okay,
you
wow.
Got it. Yeah, so really so New Direction, T-Core, HRC. Yeah, and they all offer very similar services, the case management, the doctor, the nurse, the therapy, just on a different level.
Right, correct,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, so those are our three primary, at least right now.
You guys,
and I know I'm missing someone. I'm just
you probably, because you guys do so much. Yeah, so much.
Yeah, and we recently got certified, and I think this is another program that you do not have to have a mental health diagnosis. It would be our drug and alcohol program. We just got some certification for that as well, and so that's almost like its own separate entity within the T-Core campus as well.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you guys are definitely definitely doing a lot.
Aaron.
I know she
Aaron and Karen and Paul. I should say the three of them are like the super twins, triplets, whatever. They've got this.
Well, they need you guys too to kind of help.
Yes, I'm sure they could do it alone.
So let's talk a little bit more about the peer mentor, because I want people who may be interested in that, if they was in or want to get involved and receive services for you guys, what do they actually do?
So if you are becoming a peer mentor, peer mentors right now are starting to take on more of a supervisory role in a sense that at first all the peer mentors and myself and Maggie, we were all like doing all of the work around there. And then I was like, all right, let's get the members more involved. And so now we're really trying to say, okay, so there's this job or task or group or whatever, and I'll be happy to oversee the whole thing as the peer mentor, but then I'm going to get all these people really working on the project. We have a flower unit, which is amazing. Every Thursday, Trader Joe's donates beautiful flowers to us, and then everybody makes bouquets, and we get orders from staff and members make their own bouquets. And so we put all these bouquets together. So the peer mentor oversees it. And then there's several peer mentors that help put the bouquets together and show people like how to take off the dead leaves and clip and all that. Because it's all part of, hopefully, maybe this is something you're going to love, and that'll be your next job.
And it's wellness too.
And it is wellness. It's therapeutic. And people really look forward to that unit. And we have a beading unit, and it's the same thing. Someone's in charge, one of the peer mentors oversees it. Even with cleanup, we have an outside crew that takes care of the campus, but one of our peer mentors oversees the crew.
That's awesome.
And another peer mentor will oversee like just kitchen cleanup and that kind of stuff. So they really take on a lead role of keeping everything going.
Yeah. You know, as you were talking, and this just came to mind. See, people who are uneducated, and it's honestly, it's really not that far. And I say that in the most humblest way, and I'm not trying to, but people who do not have a insight of what people who has a mental diagnosis go through, or the skill set that they have, they're missing out, because everything that you described, I know people, because it's like you have some people function a little bit higher than others.
Absolutely.
And so when people who don't have an education as far as about mental health, when they hear that, they automatically, their mind goes into stigmatizing.
Right, absolutely.
And they don't really realize that we are all one big community. We really are.
Is,
And so these people would, well, I shouldn't say these people who has a mental diagnosis, they can function just as well as someone who do not have a mental diagnosis.
Absolutely.
They can get an education, a master's degree, a bachelor's degree, just as well as somebody who don't have a, and hold the same type of jobs as well.
Or better, depending on their diagnosis.
Right, exactly. No, my point, exactly.
Some of those diagnoses really help you.
Right, exactly.
Get through
exactly.
things.
I know people who have law degrees, who run agencies, nonprofits.
Yeah.
So
it can be an asset as well as, I mean.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think, like I was saying, there's, mental illness, mental wellness. We're all somewhere in this spectrum. And I think just because today you're very symptomatic and people can't understand some of your behavior, it doesn't mean that tomorrow you're going to be in that same place.
That's exactly right.
And then people count you out.
Right, exactly.
It's like, well, 4 times now I've seen, every week you cycle.
Yeah.
All right, so every week you cycle. So on those 3 days that you don't cycle, let's give this person some credit, for goodness sake.
Right.
And when they are cycling, if they're manic, give them a broom.
Right. Exactly. But show me one person who have not been angry, who has not been frustrated, who have not been depressed, who have not had an anxiety. I mean, everybody, if you have a diagnosis or not, we all experience some form of those
catch
symptoms.
Me on the wrong day, I'll get diagnosed with something.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Even driving over here, I tell people all the time, I get so nervous. When I came in, I went out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I get nervous. I just kind of like, oh my God. Just, and I'm actually shy. People don't know I'm actually shy. A lot of people do not know that.
So this is totally out of your comfort zone.
Totally. But people don't know that because I'm outgoing, but I'm shy. I can go off and just be, it's weird, but but I had to kind of get myself together, and I took a picture. I just, sit on Facebook, and I'm like, blah, 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 blah. But so that was my time to get myself together, my mental capacity, where I can come in here and,
to have a moment.
Yeah. And you actually made it really easy for me because of your personality.
Oh, thank you.
So it's like, okay, she's cool. We can go back and forth and be and make it organic.
Yeah.
And not just be like, oh, and I like it because I like to kind of talk and just, be who we are and stuff like that. So, but once again, that's just me. And I'm not diagnosed with anything, but still, I experience some form of anxiety.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's, I'm sure most of the people do.
Yeah.
So. I got a little nervous coming in here too. So.
Yeah. So how important is it that the community as a whole be educated on mental health diagnoses and how important is that?
Oh my gosh, it is everything. Look at our community.
Yeah.
Look at everybody on the street. All these homeless folks right now. 80%, I think, or more, who knows, have a mental health diagnosis.
Yeah.
And because I feel like they're being counted out.
No, they are.
These are the, honest to goodness, kind, wonderful, sweet, amazing people that because a behavior doesn't look quite right, or because they do need to be reminded about certain, daily things that you and I maybe don't forget, and there is something going on there. For housing first, of course, you've got to get people off the street, and you've got to get them somewhere comfortable so that they can actually start to have, a better life, to live their best life, to figure out exactly what that is and to move forward. But again, people think that it's okay just to think, oh, well, they asked for this, or this, or not realizing that so much of drug and alcohol use is self-medicating. It's not. It's not that easy. Yes, you may have access to medication, but the side effects are terrible. For some people. Some people not. And then you have to go to all these labs and you have to get this done and that done. I have a car. I have a job and I have decent insurance, but it is still a pain in the butt for me to get to all the appointments I need to go to. For someone that doesn't have a car, has an incredibly difficult way to get into the system to see a doctor or
and
anybody.
Don't have a circle of support. A lot of them, they do
no
not
support,
have support.
Right.
I know somebody who has not been medically diagnosed. But because I'm in the field, I know this individual do have some mental health challenges going on.
Absolutely.
It's obvious. But this individual has a great circle of support, excellent circle of support. if he did not have the circle of support, I know for a fact he would be on the street homeless.
See?
No question in my mind.
You see what I'm saying? No, exactly. And that's it. We need to create in our community these circles of support for people so that we can start getting folks off the street and into better places. And I mean, isn't that ultimately I think is what everybody wants, even if you don't necessarily agree with our whole mental health system. Right. Nobody wants to see people living like that. Exactly.
Yeah. And a lot of times people that's out there too, they're not being aggressive. A lot of times they just there in their little space with their little food, but then you get people who don't have a mental health background or understanding. And their folks' first train of thought is like you just described, that's what they get, or
or they're scared, or that behavior is just so off. Like, what's wrong with that? I mean, there's just like such a lack of understanding.
Yeah, and that has always bothered me.
That breaks
seriously.
my heart, because I mean, really, if you went into these, my best friend's son has a mental health diagnosis, and he's really, really, really struggled. Yeah. And he ran away from one of the places that he was living in San Francisco, and they were devastated. Yeah. And he was 16. They just needed to find him. So they took to the streets. Yeah. And they were going into different homeless encampments and asking people, have you seen my son? And again, I'm getting choked up saying it, but people like in these homeless encampments were like doing prayer circles with them, trying to help find him, supporting them, giving them hugs. Yeah. I mean, they didn't run into one bad experience in all these different encampments that they went into. So, there's good and bad in every situation. Yeah. And not every person is just good or bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And so it breaks my heart the way that people with mental illness are often viewed, especially when they're sick and struggling.
Yeah. Well, one good thing about the mental health in general, it is definitely on the rise.
Oh yeah.
Meaning more and more people are coming out, or more and more people realize that either them or they or somebody that they know, a loved one in their family, has a diagnosis. Whether they want to admit to it or not, they know that, okay, this person needs some help. Right. So that's a start for me. The way I'm perceiving it, that's a start that is on somebody's radar, so to speak.
Totally, and there's so many more commercials too. Like the stars that are coming out and making awareness commercials. And this show reaches a lot of people and helps people become informed. And then we've got our wonderful mayor, who is an amazing advocate for people that have a mental illness, and getting helping the homeless and all that. So yeah, I think Sacramento as a whole, and not just Sacramento, my family's from Santa Rosa and my brother's part of the downtown district. He owns a restaurant there. Oh, nice. And they're talking about it all the time. I mean, that is like a big what can we do? How can we help? Yeah. And so they're trying to focus more on, and I think that's where the change is. Instead of just pushing everyone to the side, it's okay, what do we actually have to do to help now? Yeah. This has gotten because I have never seen it like this. I have never seen.
Neither have I.
It seems like just in the last year, almost. I mean, something happened.
Yeah. One thing I love about NorCal MHA, before they moved over to the location that they're at now, their location was actually downtown, Midtown. And the executive director, Susan, she specifically wanted to stay in that area for the homeless population, because they would come in and out of the office. The staff, they would give them food, they would let them use the bathroom, they would give them resources, any way that they was able to help them when they just walked in out of nowhere. Yeah. We would assist them, and everybody worked in that office knew or was trained or was communicated to that, if they come in here, the homeless people, pretty much we're gonna help them.
I love that.
And that spoke value to me, not just about the agency, but about her personality. Absolutely. Because it starts from the top down.
Absolutely. They set the tone for everything.
And sometimes, we had some not so good experience, but that did not deter us away from keeping the doors open. Right. So when they come in, I'm talking about all the time, always food, whatever
Yeah.
we can do at that moment to help, we did that.
Right. I love that.
You know,
I love it.
so that was something I was really
Exactly.
impressed about. Yeah. I was on Instagram last night, and it's an actress. Her name is Taraji P. Henson or something like that. She's African American, and she was doing this press conference, or she was sitting at a table, and they was kind of talking to her, or she was communicating to them about mental health. And she would talk about how we as a society need to be more open and more responsive to the needs of people who have the mental diagnosis.
Meet her.
Yeah, and she started crying, and she was talking about how what breaks her heart is when she heard that a 5-year-old had thoughts of committing suicide because they were getting bullied, and they fell into a deep depression. And she broke down. And I'm sitting there, I was in my room, and I found myself tearing up.
Right?
But you think about that 5
Oh my God,
years old.
I can't,
This is
yeah.
a kid. This is a child, 5. Thinking about committing suicide because they're getting bullied. Now they're depressed. But I mean,
I
you
know.
know.
I know. And I often hear, like, from my mom or my dad or something, well, this wasn't the way it was when you guys were kids. And I'm all, that's because nobody talked about it.
Exactly.
Now we're all talking about it. It hasn't changed anything. It was all still there, all the
Yes.
same crud.
Yes, yes.
And now they're growing up and trying to deal with it. And we have a huge homeless population with people with mental illness that isn't being treated.
Exactly.
But now we're starting to, we're allowing our children and our communities to talk about things out loud. And it's not as stigmatized. I know
Yeah.
it still is, but it's not like it used
Yeah.
to be. And so our kids can reach out to us, which is amazing because
Yeah.
you know what? Let's get the help now,
Yeah.
so that it doesn't hinder you later in your life.
Yeah, yeah. It's unfortunate. I share this a lot too about how, and I think I just shared this recently too. My mom, I have a brother who has a mental diagnosis. My youngest brother actually, and for so many years, I mean, we knew, like you can tell that he needed another level of care,
Right.
help. My mother, she never got him help because she was concerned about the stigma, what
Yeah.
people was gonna think.
Yeah.
And I remember my brother, he had got incarcerated because he would have like these very aggressive outbursts and just mood swings. And I remember him calling me from being in prison, and he had an episode and he was crying, he was just all over the place, irate. And so, and he was like, I want to go and kind of see a psychiatrist in here, but I don't know, what people gonna think. And I had to have a very intense conversation with him, a real conversation. Told him, look, you need help, man. This is your life. You're the only person that has to go through this. You cannot care about what the family think or what other people think. Get yourself some help. And because I have the education as far as working in the background,
Right.
working in the field, that I was able to assist him and coach him and encourage him to
And
get
be
the
his
help.
support person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he did. And Lisa, he is so better off. Like, he is such a better person now.
I love that.
Well,
that's just it. You don't want to see people struggle. I mean, it's a
Right.
hard decision to make.
Right.
But when you realize you're actually hindering them by
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
I mean, if your kid has diabetes, you're going to go, oh, I really don't like injections. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're out of luck.
Yeah, exactly.
That might embarrass me. I mean,
Yeah.
I will love it when psychiatry is viewed in the exact same way
Yes.
as any other. It just should be doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
Period.
That's
right?
exactly right.
And we treat it all.
Yeah,
Because it shouldn't be separated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with my mother afterwards, and because I called her and told her what the conversation I had with my brother, and she I could tell she felt very convicted. She was extremely convicted, and she said, I knew that I should have got him help. She said I didn't because I was worried about what my friends was gonna think and what the family was gonna think.
Right.
And she admitted that, and and I tried to encourage her and comfort her not to, so she won't, fall into condemnation.
Right.
But I said, well, Mom, the most important thing now is he's getting help now, and we can be there to support him now.
Let's move forward. There's only so much,
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just it. And it is hard. I mean, just I know as a parent with kids that have struggled with mental health issues that everybody has an opinion.
Yeah.
Well, should you be doing that now?
Yeah.
Or do you think you're just being too dramatic about this?
Yeah.
Or da 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 da. And so you're constantly getting feedback from family, from friends, from society, from it's like anybody you run into has an opinion about something.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, it's very hard. And so, and especially from your mom's generation, my mom's generation.
Woo, yeah.
It was a big deal
Yeah.
for your kid to have a mental health issue.
Yeah. I remember when one of my uncles first got on drugs when he went to the military, came back, very, very, very intelligent man, extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
I say this about him, that he has the gift of intellect. He's just extremely, extremely smart. But when he went to the military, he got on drugs or whatever, and he came back. That was like one of the first big things in our family that people kind of swept up under the rug. But he needed help.
Right.
He needed help, and obviously mentally things started happening, but nobody got him help.
Right.
Because of the stigma, because people are ashamed, but we wanted to. I feel like my grandmother, they wanted to just focus on, oh, he's been to the military, he's a vet, he did good things, but nobody addressed these other issues that was going on with him.
You're not helping.
Yeah.
But then again. Got to take it from here.
Yeah.
And we are seeing that change so much, like we were just talking about a minute ago. I mean, we really are seeing parents moving, families, embracing. Again, there's so many. If someone has an intellectual disability, you don't sweep it under the rug, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, this is just it's because it's not as visible, or because the behaviors can sometimes just mimic bad behavior.
Right.
So it can be confused with,
because
they're struggling with this, and you need to take into account that the reason behind it.
Yeah.
It's like, when I'm pissy, I'm just being pissy.
Yeah.
When, somebody else may be going through a whole heck of a lot more.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I'm thinking about a few jobs I had where some of the staff members, they was old enough to have teenage kids, and I'm just kind of thinking about a lot of their children. Different staff members will have teenage kids that have mental diagnoses, but you didn't know that unless you have a conversation with them, and which lets me know it's, like I said earlier, it's more prevalent now. It's more out there,
right.
But I think people are just kind of not being as forthcoming, like how you communicated on the show and earlier. I like that. I like that you're putting it out there because it's not nothing to be ashamed of.
Right. It's not.
And your daughter or whoever, they may be able to help somebody else that's struggling with a diagnosis. I may meet somebody tomorrow and say, oh, I know this lady named Lisa that I've met. Her daughter may be able to help you. Who knows?
Absolutely.
It's about that social connection.
I agree. And honestly, with both of my daughters, I think by embracing who they are and loving every inch of who they are and every part that comes along with that.
Nice.
It makes up part of who they are, and I love them, and I don't want them to struggle or suffer, so I've done everything that I could to get them to it, and they're well. They are right now. They are well, and that is all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
We are not mentally ill today. Today we are mentally well.
Yeah, exactly. So
they're teenagers. Wait 5 minutes. That'll change.
So wow. So what do you? We run out of time. It's got 3 minutes. I think they said 3. No. This is good. This is a good conversation. But I want to kind of ask you a few more questions about the clubhouse. So what is your vision for the clubhouse in the next 5 years?
I would love to see this program just grow.
Okay.
Ideally, a clubhouse would have a lot of different rooms, and each of those rooms would compose of a unit, part of the work order day, where we would get members and mentors working in those units.
Okay.
And I would like to see stipends for our peer mentors. I think that is huge.
Okay.
They do so much and they don't ask for it, but I'm asking. I would love to see us be able to get more involved in the employment part of that too. I really want to see it. I see what it does when someone gets employed.
That's awesome.
And it increases their self-value and their everything. It just changes everything. You just see this huge change in somebody because there's a need to be needed. They need to feel important. And who doesn't want to, be out there engaging with people, having a good time, meeting new. And most of us as adults meet people at work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and also college. I would like to get more people into college. Right
That's good.
now we
That's
have 11 members in college or in trade school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lisa, that's impressive.
It is really impressive. I mean, and it's not me that I'm impressed with. It's just the people.
Right, exactly.
If you give them the opportunity, they want it.
Or the tools,
they're hungry for it. Yeah.
The
opportunity, the tools, the skills, the support, all of it.
Yeah. So having so do you think like having a much bigger space will allow those opportunities or your vision to be more?
I would love a bigger space, and I would love to be downtown.
Okay.
So
downtown.
and I would love to have less restrictions on who can attend the clubhouse. I'd like to make it more open.
Okay.
A lot of things for down the road. Yeah.
But that would come more like, so I think, say for example, if you had a developer to say, you know what, I'm going to donate some space to you guys, a huge space. Something like that will obviously will kind of walk more towards some of these goals for the center to be met. The clubhouse.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. The International Clubhouse Foundation, whatever it's called, we are not part of that right now because we can't do a clubhouse the way that they're doing the clubhouse.
Yeah.
And nor would we necessarily want to completely either, because there's also a lot of which it's a fantastic thing, a fantastic organization. It's all about employment, where we're also, it's not just about employment. It's about social engagement. It's about getting you out of the dark. It's about giving you a purpose and a reason. If you never go to work, if you never volunteer, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay, well, Lisa, we have run out of time.
Okay.
And thank you so much for being on our show. I really enjoyed this.
This was fun. Thank
conversation with you.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it for today's edition of Mental Health Matters. If you enjoyed this particular show, if you would like a DVD copy of this particular show, or if you would like to be a guest on our show, please dial 916-366-4600. Thank you.